This is the You, Me, and BTC podcast.
Cryptocurrency decrypted.
Welcome to episode 96. A relatively new forum over at Roger Ver's Bitcoin.com hopes to establish a more open and civil Bitcoin discussion platform. To get things going, Ver has invited 40 Bitcoin superstars to host Ask Me Anything sessions on the forum. Today, we'll chat about possible pros and cons of this endeavor and share some thoughts about the best ways to discuss anything on the internet. Then after that, I'll share my interesting experience with Facebook advertising. I probably shouldn't have been, but I really was surprised when I saw that you can target categories as specific as high spenders at mid-range restaurants. Your hosts today are Tim Baker, John Stuart, and myself, Daniel Brown. Here we go.
Hello, everybody. Welcome
Hello,
back to
everybody.
Is that what I sound like?
That's what you said.
Hello, everybody.
This was your chance to not seem like an idiot. Screwed up.
Hi, everybody. I hope everybody's doing well. We're back with the You, Me, and BTC podcast, your favorite and best and most insightful news place for all of your Bitcoin
We're not
and
news,
related
Tim.
News needs.
We're not news, Tim.
All your related
No, we
Bitcoin
say everything
pondering.
perfectly. We never get anything wrong.
It's not news. We are the best and the most insightful ponderers of the Bitcoin and whatever we redeem related to Bitcoin and its subsidiaries for our show.
Anyway.
I'm here with Ponderer 1
Daniel Brown.
and Ponderer 2
John Stuart.
and Ponderer 0, me, Tim Baker.
Was that your attempt to, put yourself in front of us?
No, it makes me different because I'm not, a normal number like that.
Hey, real quick, before we get into this stuff, speaking of numbers, this is episode 96, which means we are approaching episode 100. Holy crap. That's crazy, I think.
Holy crap.
But obviously, when you add an extra digit to your numbers, you have to do something crazy, right?
Yes?
So, yeah, I don't know what we're going to do. We got to figure it out. We got to do something. You know what we could do? We should do is broadcast for 100 hours straight live. That's what we'll do.
Yes, definitely.
As much as I would love to.
That would be great for publicity.
Oh, it would be deadly.
We can have 100 hours at the house, and we'll just go on Monster, and just at 92, we'll start debating the block size thing, and I think we'll actually come to some kind of an answer because it was just so spaced out, caffeinated.
It would be really deadly, but mostly for our listeners. It would be more deadly for our listeners than for us, so... Anyway, if you have ideas, anything just completely off the wall that we could do, let us know. Tweet us at YouMe and BTC. Send me an email, daniel@youmeandbtc.com. Yeah, however you can. Leave a comment on our website. If you have a frickin' crazy idea, let us know, and we'll see what we can do.
Or even if it's just a regular, uncrazy idea, that's cool too.
Yeah, anything at all. Anyway, so let's see. We want to mention Purse real quick, right, Tim?
Well, yeah, I guess we do. Purse is now offering with us, we have an affiliate program where if you buy over $50 worth on Purse, you get a millibit
10
for
millibits.
free. 10
millibits.
millibits for free. Is that for if you're buying stuff on Amazon?
Yeah. We talk about them all the time, but if you don't know, they kind of link up with Amazon in a variety of different ways now. They have some new stuff, but originally it was through wish lists. They would link up with Amazon. And yeah, you can order Amazon stuff, pay with Bitcoin, and get a discount of anywhere from, well, you set the discount, and the lower your discount, the faster someone will accept it. But if you're willing to wait, you could get 20, 25, maybe 30% off. So yeah, it's a shopping network. Spend Bitcoin and buy Amazon stuff, get a discount. If you want to do the affiliate part, you have to use our code YMB. That's obviously for you, me, and BTC. YMB is the code. Spend $50 and you'll get 10 millibits back as a credit. So yeah, if you want to support us and get a discount, save tons of money, try it out. The code is YMB at purse.io. I guess we should say that too if you don't know. Purse.io is the website. So yeah, let's go then. I guess today we're going to start with a discussion about some new Bitcoin forums, which are over at bitcoin.com. And I guess this was kind of Tim's find, I think. So I guess I'll turn it back to him again and hope he doesn't screw up as much this time.
Like I said before, it's all part of it, Daniel. It's all part of the process, and it's all part of
Tim, you can't tell our audience that. It's supposed to be organic. They can't know that we're like devising all this stuff to fit together so perfectly.
So, as probably a lot of people know, the Bitcoin Talk forums have been one of the biggest places to talk about Bitcoin, to read about Bitcoin, and it's just a big forum of a lot of different users. And I like forums. They're good to see a lot of different information, but there's some people who will say that because it's a forum, like anything on the internet, when anyone can pretty much give their opinion, then you're going to get a lot of stupid opinions and opinions that aren't worth coming out, which I completely agree with, but normally there isn't a good way to like make or force conversations that are open to be intelligent. But there's this new forum/website, bitcoin.com, that the forums just went live on.
But yeah, the forums just went live. Bitcoin.com is relatively new, maybe 6 or 8 months. That's just a guess.
Newer than you'd think.
Yeah, like exactly. Way newer than you'd think. But it is a pretty nice website. It tells you just all about Bitcoin, obviously. But yeah, the forums are brand new.
And what they're looking at saying is going to be different with these forums, at least one of the bigger parts of that, is that they're going to be trying to push a lot of AMAs of big people in the business, in tech stuff, in really anything related, so that they can get questions from people who are going to inherently take it more seriously, or at least hopefully take it more seriously than the average person. And I think that's obviously what they're trying to go after here, is to make something where there's more of a serious discussion, what they would say as adult discussion. I don't know exactly what that means. I think that would probably mean towards less talk about, less like the philosophical stuff of Bitcoin that I do remember. I haven't been on Bitcoin Talk forums for so long, but there is a part of that about anarchy and libertarianism, adding all that stuff in, or socialism. And I think more taking away from that and focusing more on Bitcoin as a technology and the technologies that can come from it. Right.
I think you said talking like adults or something, which is part of the subtitle for this article, which is on medium.com from John Southhurst. But yeah, the subtitle is, okay, it's not like a subtitle. It's like the meta description or something. It's way longer than a subtitle. But it says, Bitcoin may still be geeky with its online forums and chat groups, but it needs a place where people who define the industry can talk like adults. Roger Ver's Bitcoin.com is trying to be that place. So here's the thing. I like the sentiment. Like, yeah, of course, there's, no matter where you are, there's annoying, random, obscure, spam, whatever. There's just anywhere online, Twitter, Reddit, wherever you go, of course there's going to be random, extra, pointless fluff. I said like a million words there, which were fluff themselves. Anyway, I like the sentiment. Sure, yeah, let's get some professionals in here. Let's talk like adults. But I don't really see how they're going to enforce that. I mean, unless you like limit it where like you need credentials, like you have to prove that you are Andreas Antonopoulos, or like maybe only Bitcoin CEOs can talk on there. Unless you do that, which I don't think they're doing at all. I mean, I wouldn't really see why they expect it to stay professional or anything if they're just going to let anyone in. I mean, maybe the culture, Like maybe it'll be a place for a while that attracts only more professional people and detracts the spammers or just random people. But I mean, and that would be just like a cultural thing. Like if they can keep it kind of higher quality just by the way they act, it might work for a while. But I don't really see how they could make it stay that way for very long.
Yeah, or if they're going to be able to if they're going to keep on being able to get more people to do it and to keep it fresh and keep things different.
Well, that's true too. Keeping it different. That was my first concern. That's
you
the
can't
first
just have
thing.
the same people talking over and over again.
Yeah, it was the first thing I said after I read this headline was, "Well, what's wrong with Bitcoin Talk?" And
Yeah, it actually was. He is correct there.
but yeah, like I don't really see how it's going to be different. Like I said, for a while they might be able to keep it more professional, but if they're letting anyone in, it'll be just like Bitcoin Talk. It'll be just like Reddit, Bitcoin Reddit. So, I don't know. I mean, I guess one thing that they claim that they'll do is kind of avoid some of the, because on Reddit, they like banned discussion of Bitcoin XT. Censorship, that's the word I'm looking for. Supposedly, this new forum is going to have less censorship like that. But again, is it going to stay that way? Or even if that's only a promise. There's no guarantee. It's just them promising, oh yeah, we're going to keep this. You can talk about anything. And again, I don't know or how that really makes it different than Bitcoin Talk. But anyway, they're trying.
We mentioned the AMAs before. They're going to be having 40 of them. They'll be taking questions for 2 weeks between the 2nd and the 18th of November. With seems every day there's going to be 3 new Ask Me Anything sessions. Some of the people that you'll be able to talk to are Andreas Antonopoulos, CEOs like Wences CRAs, Jeremy Allaire, Barry Silbert, and Patrick Byrne. You can talk with some developers such as Gavin Andreessen, Mike Hearn, and Jeff Garzik. And
this whole idea, this part I really do like, just because, yeah, of course we want to know what all these relatively well-known people are thinking about and planning on and working on. Yeah, sure. I love an event like this. They call it the virtual Woodstock of digital currency. So it's
I don't really get the Woodstock reference.
Well, just because
being a big gathering.
They're planning to have people being naked in the mud and doing acid.
Hey, we could make it happen.
I don't know what the difference between that and our Bitcoin is, but
I made a joke. Anyway.
I think it is like you said, Tim. It's just a gathering. A bunch of people for 2 weeks getting together and have a good time. I don't know. It'll be great for marketing. They should get tons of attention. A bunch of people making threads and asking questions, and it'll just go on for 2 weeks. And I think that's a really good way to kick this off. I mean, if you just put it there and just left it, like I said, people have no reason to switch from Bitcoin Talk. It's already the central hub. It's already where everyone goes. So if you try and post on a new site, it's gonna get before fewer eyes. So why would you do that? Well, to solve that problem, you need some good marketing, and I think this is it. Yeah, this is a great idea. It'll be tons of fun. It'll get them lots of attention. I still don't think it would really put it ahead of BitcoinTalk.org. I think that's a pretty big hurdle to leap. But, yeah, sure. Like I said, it'll be fun.
John.
Yeah.
How much do you believe in them?
In
I don't know, this idea of this difference. That is how much he believes in you.
Yeah. I mean, I should probably, not actually say words because it's, not, I don't know. It's too thought out. I feel like I'm expressive with my noises enough. You guys should just ask me things and I'll just make noises.
No, we need noises and facial expressions, and that's it.
I don't know if I do the facial expressions that much. But, people always make fun of me for, noises that I just randomly make that I don't realize I'm doing.
Well, I have to edit, so I will say I do notice quite a bit.
Yeah, well, anyways. I mean, I
There
pretty
was
much
again.
agree with... Yeah. Okay.
He's like, okay.
I pretty much agree with you guys. I mean, I guess maybe the one thing is that they were saying, what did they say about Bitcoin Talk? They were saying, like, it has a reputation for being the peanut gallery or whatever. I don't know if that's true, but I guess if you're someone who doesn't know anything about Bitcoin, you're probably, like, going to go to bitcoin.com first.
Oh, yeah, they
Yeah.
do say that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's like a big deal. I think it's just, like, more visible.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They said it's a name that's far easier for newcomers to stumble upon. Yeah, and that's absolutely true. I would imagine that tons of people will just type it in, start reading about it, and then jump on the forums. So, yeah, I do see that. So, here's something that could be a pretty big question. They say that Andreas Antonopoulos expressed his frustration with traditional Bitcoin discussion channels and prefers neutral territory like Twitter. And I think that's an interesting question. I mean, which would you prefer? Would you prefer a Bitcoin-focused Reddit and kind of moderated Reddit? Or would you rather use Twitter, where you can say whatever you want and it's really not going to get removed? I mean, I'm sure Twitter removes some stuff like violence or whatever, but you can talk about Bitcoin XT all you want. All day, every day, you can bash it, you can praise it, you can pray to it. Like, you can do whatever you want on Twitter. So, yeah, I don't know. Which would you guys prefer? Is there a benefit to either one? Are there drawbacks to either one?
Well, I think the thing they said about Twitter, that it has a pretty bad signal-to-noise ratio. That's true.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think the point here was that there's a lot of noise on Twitter, but actually, for me, I think it would be the opposite. It's not that there's a lot of noise on Twitter. I mean, yeah, of course there's some. I would say that there's very little signal on Twitter because...
Well, that's what they mean. The signal to noise ratio, what they're saying is there's way more noise than there is signal.
I know. I was just saying, I think, I could be wrong, but when I first read it, I thought they were emphasizing the excessive noise, whereas I think it's more important that there's very little signal. I realize that those are both, in terms of the ratio, they're both saying the same thing, but...
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a completely different argument, I guess. Whether it's that there's too much noise or there's not enough signal. Yeah, I guess you have to make a lot of other statements about things that people are doing to argue that. I don't want to do that. But either way, I agree with the fact that Twitter is not, like, it's hard to find good stuff.
Yeah, like, and Facebook and whatever. Like, if you're on Facebook, like, oh, I want to find out what people think about Bitcoin XT on Facebook, I wouldn't even know where to start. Even on Twitter, I would have no clue where to start.
I mean, at least Twitter has hashtags. That's a lot better. Well, I guess Facebook does too now. It's easier to find topic things on Twitter, but there's still so much spam in there.
Yeah, and if you did find if you click on the Bitcoin XT hashtag, yeah, there's a ton of stuff, non-stop list of tweets, and they're not really in any order. And even if you knew somebody like Mike Hearn, even if you knew that Mike Hearn was behind Bitcoin XT, which newcomers might not, but even if you knew that and you go to Mike Hearn's Twitter page, even that's going to be a bunch of obscure things in no particular order. You might get a Bitcoin XT, like, really deep and provoking thought every, like, 10 tweets, and they're not in any order, and there's other retweets and whatever in between all of them and cartoons. So even when you try to focus and you check on the right people's profiles, it's still going to be really hard to keep track of things and have a conversation.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I guess one of my biggest arguments would be that channels like Our Bitcoin or Bitcoin Talk, I would say that those are neutral territory in a way. I guess not so much. like, yeah, sure, our Bitcoin, you can ban stuff, or Bitcoin Talk. People, if you're in charge there, you can ban stuff, you can delete stuff, whatever. Yeah, that's not neutral. I guess I understand that. But my point would be like, oh, then make a new Reddit, make a new forum. And I guess that's what they're doing right here. But those channels can be duplicated and adjusted to your own personal liking. And if other people like it too, then they'll participate. And there's a Bitcoin XT subreddit, and it's gaining some decent traction. And so I guess that's what I would say is, well, pretty much if you're on the internet, you're on neutral territory. Well, no, that's not the best way to put it. I guess I just want to emphasize that if you don't like something, you can make it better yourself. I guess that's mostly what I want to say. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. I just have a tough time. Like the author here, John Southhurst, says stuff like, we don't need the gatekeepers and stuff. But, I mean, it's still, somebody's still in charge of the forum. They may or may not enforce that power, but they're still gatekeepers. Even if they keep the gate open quite a bit, they still have the control and everything.
Yeah, I mean, like, you need web developers and stuff like that. Like,
right.
Guys, the internet is like a right, so it needs to be a lot simpler for people like me to be able to just have it for free.
Yeah. No, that actually
Move to
reminds me, though,
Finland.
we did
or
briefly...
Sweden or whatever it is.
Yeah, those socialist fucks.
Yeah, well, if you want your free internet, go.
We did briefly touch on, I don't know, several episodes ago. Didn't we touch on a decentralized version of Reddit that somebody's working on? And
yes.
that's a whole new thing in itself. And, you know, we don't have to get into all that now, but maybe there's some new cool stuff on the way that really could remove gatekeepers. Who knows? Are you tired of Bitcoin Dice and ready for something different? Try LuckyBit, the original falling coin game, at luckybee.it. It's the most exciting Bitcoin game on the web. You can bet on 5 different payout lines and win up to 999 times your bet. You can even use their faucet to get some free Bitcoin. Dice is boring. Play different at LuckyBit. Check it out at luckybee.it. So one thing that pretty interesting that I wanted to talk about today, not directly, actually not really at all Bitcoin related, but it's the kind of stuff we've touched on before, and I just came across this interesting thing today and thought it'd be worth sharing. So here goes. I was on Facebook. Well, I decided just for fun, really, just to see how it goes, to try out some Facebook advertising, because we focus on Twitter. We have like 10 times as many Twitter followers as we do Facebook likes. And I'm like, all right, let's try to advertise the page, get some extra Facebook likes, and see how it goes. See if it helps anything, see how expensive it is, whatever. Which, by the way, if you don't already like our Facebook page, get over there and like it. But,
get on it.
Yeah. So I clicked the advertise button on Facebook and started filling out information to have an ad. It's the kind of ad that'll show up in your news feed. And I was just pretty surprised by the way that you can target people on Facebook. I mean, here's the thing. We've said before how we did the whole episode. It was called, Is Privacy Overrated? We did a whole episode, and I'm sure for at least part of it, we were talking about Google and how they can give you targeted advertisement, and people freak out about who's seeing their data and who knows that they're interested in Shih Tzu puppies or something like that. Yeah, like people don't want people to know that they're interested in X, Y, or Z. And whatever. So yeah, we've touched on all that before. I knew, of course I knew that people could target you and they knew you were interested in stuff, but it just kind of was a little bit extra surprising when I actually saw it right in front of me on Facebook when I was trying to do an ad. So I figured I'd share kind of what you can do with this. There's the standard stuff. This isn't too crazy. I'm scrolling through the page right now, the page where you set up an ad. And there's the standard stuff like, oh, target the U.S. You can pick ages to target, men, women, languages, whatever. Then you can target their interests, which I guess makes sense. I mean, everyone has an interest section on their Facebook page. They can put in whatever they want. And of course Facebook is going to use that. So yeah, for our ad, like Bitcoin or libertarianism, those are the kind of people we want to reach out to. And so that's who we target. All right, fine. That's a little personal, but yeah, I guess it makes sense. Not that surprising. But then below that, there's a box for behaviors. And this one is just all over the place. There's a whole list here of categories that you can delve into and subcategories and whatever. But I'll just start with the very first one. It's in alphabetical order. The first one is automotive. And if you click that, you can click on motorcycle. Have they purchased a new motorcycle? Have they purchased a used motorcycle? Oh, there's even descriptions here. I didn't see these before. People in households that are motorcycle owners and purchase their motorcycles used. All right. Apparently you can target people like that. Are there new vehicle shoppers that are in the market, that are near the market? Oh my gosh. Purchase type, vehicle price. Have they leased a vehicle? All of that is just in automotive. And there's, 15 or 20 of these categories. There's financial here. Banking. Are they a credit union member? Are they a national bank customer? Are they full service investors? Are they likely investors? This is crazy. You can go through everything. Media, radio, internet. Households with people likely to listen to internet radio. What the heck?
So do you think this is, what are your thoughts about this? I mean, you're kind of like freaking out, but I don't know like why.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't mean to freak out because we've touched on this before, and I'll go over it quickly. Although I really would recommend if you want to get a more complete view, I think we hit on pretty much on a lot of this stuff in that episode. Is privacy overrated? So look that up if you want. But I don't know. I guess mostly it's just crazy that they can figure all this out and keep track of all this. I know there's a ton of people out there who are going to say that this is a terrible thing, that we don't want Facebook to have this information. We don't want them to use it. And, everyone's freaked out about privacy. That's not what I'm freaking out about because, like I said, it's kind of obvious. If they have the information, they're going to use it. They're going to try to make money off of it. So yeah, I don't mean to rant like, oh, Facebook is watching every step you make. Yeah, of course they are. And everyone knows that. And if you really don't like it, then don't use it. But I can't really even see that much reason to not like it that much. I mean, so they know, like I said, so they know that I'm interested in Shih Tzu puppies. So, I mean, I'm not. I don't really care about puppies. But yeah, does that make sense? I guess mostly it was just interesting to me that they could figure all of this stuff out. I'm not as concerned about privacy as I know a ton of people are, even especially in the liberty space. I'm kind of going against the grain here, but yeah, listen to that episode if you want to hear more about that.
Yeah, I mean, I know I was there for that episode, so I figured that's not what you were freaking out about. I just didn't know exactly what it was. Yeah,
right.
That
I
makes
guess
sense.
it's mostly just holy crap, they can figure all this stuff out. Like,
yeah.
I knew the interests. Like, yeah, of course, you type it in. It's that simple. They have a list of interests, and so they target interests. But like, are you likely to listen to internet radio? That's not something that I would have guessed they would target. Food and drink, cereal, fiber cereals. People in households that are heavy buyers of fiber cereals.
See, I don't like find any of this that weird actually. Like, this all makes perfect sense to me. Because who's buying advertising? It's Frosted Flakes or like
yeah.
Like, these are the people who have Facebook pages. Or like there's used car things. Like,
I mean, it makes sense. It's just I never would have thought it would have gone this deep. Like the most that I would have guessed before is, oh, you searched for Shih Tzu puppies. that's something you're interested in. Yeah, I guess it's what I said. The most I expected before was just a list of interests. I didn't expect so many, so specific behavioral patterns, like cooking supplies, spices. I don't know. And they have sources here too, like source, loyalty card and transaction level household purchase data with multi-channel. Okay.
Yeah, see, like when you're reading these out, like everything that you say, I just hear somebody selling something.
Yeah.
Like
I
can't even like think of it in the terms of like, I don't know. Like I can't think of it in any other way than just like I see it and I hear it and I'm just like, or I just hear somebody trying to sell something.
Right. No, I agree. It makes perfect sense. It's just I never thought of it that much. I didn't know it was that robust.
Yeah.
But you're right.
I definitely didn't know it was that they went that in deep for like, especially that anyone who has a page could access all that.
Right. Well, another one of my favorites was, are you an early technology adopter or a late technology adopter? And they keep track of that with the app that you use and like your phone. They keep track of what phone you're using to access Facebook, and they use that to tell if you're an early or a late technology adopter.
See, that's one that could actually be useful for us.
Useful? Why?
Because we are a Bitcoin podcast.
Oh, you're right. Actually, you're right. I did. I think I put in early technology adopter, and that's exactly true because people who are into Bitcoin are looking for the latest and the greatest and the newest and the freshest. Yeah, I forgot about that, but you're right. I think I did put that in. So, yeah, that's what they do. We're trying to sell stuff. Whatever. It's crazy. But anyway, yeah, let's do advice of the day, guys. What can we say? What's our advice?
What can we say today that hasn't been said yesterday? Oh, man. I was going to say that you should come up with your advice beforehand, but I know I've done that before.
Yeah, you gave that advice before. So my advice for today is take your own advice.
My advice for today was going to be, before Daniel cut me off, was don't use the same advice twice.
All right. But seriously, take your own advice and come with advice.
Yeah, I had that prepared beforehand.
Oh, okay, all right.
I planned to make fun of myself and like pretend like I didn't know what I was going to say when I actually did.
Yeah, John, we're not supposed to tell him that we planned all this so perfectly, remember?
But this was part of it.
But this was part of it too. See, now we really are meta.
Why did I do this?
Shut up.
Why did I do?
Shut up, both of you.
Why did I let him say that?
It worked there, right? Did I say that right?
You might not have had the correct number of metas.
Okay.
My other piece of advice is, like, don't set Daniel up for bad jokes. Although you can never really predict what that's going to be, so...
That's part of the problem, is I make jokes even when I'm not set up, and that's why they're so bad.
That's called like making a joke, though, Daniel. Not all jokes are set up. It's just you're just bad at doing it.
Well, I didn't mean intentionally set up. I just meant like there's no place for a joke here, and I try to make one anyway and fail.
No, there was a place for a joke there, Daniel. It's a podcast. You can be entertaining.
Yeah, that's
it's just
why I made the joke,
it.
Tim, and it was a good fucking joke.
You know, I really don't need to deal with the language right now.
Excuse me.
Tim, you're the only one who has said...
That's true.
Said on the podcast. You have to you have to bleep it out again.
I bleeped it from myself last week, too, because I was quoting Tim's text, and I said that, and then I bleeped it out.
So Tim is still the only one who has said on the podcast.
Yeah. Yes. All right, Tim, we need advice.
Well, if you get 40 BTC AMAs going, then you're probably going to get a decent amount of likes on your Facebook page, and if you want to get a website going, pick the simplest. How was Bitcoin.com not picked up already?
Oh, no, it was picked up a long time ago. It just wasn't developed until recently.
By these people, or did they buy it off of somebody?
I'm sure they bought it from a squatter. I'm not sure, but that's probably what happened.
Yeah.
Okay. For probably like $100,000.
Okay. Yeah, they made somebody really happy.
Yeah. If you if you see like a big thing that has a stupid name for its website, pick a better name and then get a bunch of millionaires buying your product and you'll go far.
So you're saying, like, if you see somebody using bitcointalk.org, buy bitcoin.com and sell it to rich people in the Bitcoin space? Is that what you're saying?
Or just do it yourself.
So Tim is telling people to be squatters, basically.
Yes. Kill every single good idea there can ever be and just steal everything before it makes someone else money.
That's a good one. Steal good ideas. I like that advice.
I did not condone this.
That's what Facebook was, right? Facebook was a stolen idea, so it's a stolen good idea that's now making billions because people like high fiber cereal. So, yeah, steal good ideas.
Just for the record, I've been recording this whole time, and I want everybody to know that Daniel recorded that in post. It was really awkward to listen to
I know.
outside of a conversation.
I know. Thanks for listening to episode 96. All of the music in today's show was from John Stuart. Remember to check out this week's show notes at btc.com and let us know what we should do for episode 100. We'll see you next Thursday.